So, what's up guys? Another video. Something I should have made a long time ago and I just haven't, or... Well, I said I would make it a long time ago, and that's Roll Boss. So, as you can see, a little background change here. I just switched to like a different side in my room, that's all. Not sitting on my bed anymore, actually sitting in a chair for a change. And also, normally I don't really ask for this, but if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, it really helps me out for like just getting my videos out to the people, like the YouTube algorithm starts picking it up, more people see it, blah blah, that kind of stuff. So just having that subscription, because I actually notice, like, I can see in the data that people are not subscribing but they're watching, so just subscribe. It's a small thing for you, it's a big thing for me. And also just like it if you're feeling like it. Yeah. So let's get into the video. Roll boss. So my roll boss rank highest is rank 1. And last week was 2000 something, and I'm probably gonna end up rank 1 in this one. Yeah, 6.2 mil is easily possible. So what's the thing about roll boss? So everyone always does the roll boss, but what do you want to do, like, for tips and tricks? But like, how do you focus on it? One of the biggest tips I want to give right away, what you can see is, like, why my rank was that low last time. There's a reset time. Roll boss actually dies in 5 hours, 5 days, 15 hours, and like 15 minutes, something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but it's like 5 days, 15 hours, and a little bit. What does this mean? At some point, you're gonna have like a day reset where someone could do 2 roll bosses in, or like an extra rotation of a roll boss in the one roll boss and not in the next. So let's say roll boss resets at like 2 a.m. People can do it either before 2 a.m. on the old roll boss or after 2 a.m. at the new roll boss. So make use of that advantage to get in, like, technically you can get in 2 more attacks. Let's say for the start you hit after the 2 a.m. so it's reset, it takes 6 hours, so you hit after 8 a.m. and then the next one you actually hit before the 2 a.m. So, well, then it doesn't switch, but like, just as an example, that way you can get in 2 more attacks. That's why you can like upgrade your highest score, and that's probably why you're gonna have like 1 week low, 1 week high. And that's pretty much what I do as well. Like 1 week I get like top whatever 5, I guess. It's mostly what I'm at. And the other week I get like rank 2000 something. That's normal in roll boss. That's how roll boss pretty much works. So then what does work? So as you can see here, it's all water, except for my CR. CR is just highly good rune, so yeah, it's mainly water. Well, you probably already know that, but why is it water? Just as a small clarification, why is it water? The elements of the roll boss were actually intended to change, but they never changed that. They're water and fire, so the only element that has 1 positive and 1 neutral is water. Can we stop bleeping? Can we? Thank you. Okay, so therefore water is best. Afterwards you have a bunch of neutrals that are like just positive negative, or so as like wind, that's like positive negative. Fire is negative neutral, so fire is the worst. And then you have light and dark, which are neutral and neutral, so those are like equally to wind pretty much. So what does that mean? Water is by far best. Then what's the next step that works best is base stats. Like the highest base stats possible, multiply the stats as high as possible, and therefore gives the highest stats. So net 5s will always outclass net 4s on equal runes in their respective set. So what does that mean in the respective set? Well, for example, Theomar's attacker unit. The highest multiplier, like, it's not based on like the highest rune efficiency on a unit. It's actually based on the highest stats multiplied off of the base stats on that unit. So if a unit has attacker stats, you throw more attack damage attack on it. People would ask, like, are crit damage, crit rate, and also Eki and resistance, are there bad stats? No, they're actually, for roll boss, they are not bad stats. I can't give you the exact number, like how one is equal to the other, but they're actually not bad. What is actually bad is speed. Speed is actually terrible. So for example, like all of these units here, Pisama has a slot 2 speed, Bastet has a slot 2 speed, and Sierra has a slot 2 speed. Besides that, everything has a slot 2. Well, maybe there's one. Is my Gildong here that has a slot 2 speed? No, I don't think it's in. Oh, wait. This Gildong actually has a slot 2 speed, but that's also just a really good slot that I couldn't replace with like an attacker slot or something. So there's only like, what, 4 units here that have a slot 2 speed, and it's only there because it's the rest of the set is that good, or the rune itself is actually really good. So preferably, if you want to focus on roll boss, get attack slot 2s, get or like HP slot 2s, like this attack slot 2. You have an HP type unit, throw as much HP in it as you can, and then you go triple HP. Could you go like defense on this unit? Yes, but if you check like the ratio of like how much HP this unit has compared to how much defense this unit has, HP is so much better than the defense, so that's really important. So keep that in mind. Also, like, what kind of units, like, I'm gonna talk over like some other teams at some point, so mainly focus on the net 5s that you have, and probably you cannot throw everything on Brawl Boss runes, of course not. You're gonna use your whatever unit, and you need a speed slot 2 for Siege, Guild Battle, or blah blah blah, that kind of stuff. Makes sense, keep them on those sets, don't just purely focus on this. This is just like an additional thing. You get like a little bit better rewards like throughout the time if you just constantly hit the S instead of like the A's, or the double or triple S instead of the single or double S. So you're just upgrading your overall progression by upgrading Roll Boss. So what kind of units? Well, you actually cannot see like the first of the list. This is like the start of the list. So what can you do? What kind of units can you do for Roll Boss? Units that you have Devilmon before, and that's the next big part I'm going to talk about, Devilmons. Units that you Devilmon before that you're not using anymore. A good example for probably a lot of people could be Poseidon, Chow, Sigmarus is a really good example. Those are units you're probably not using that much anymore, or like not at all. Like if you're like further into the game, just throw a heavy set on them and then check like, okay, that I will show in a second, like how can you actually tweak Roll Boss, because there's just a really simple way to tweak Roll Boss. It just takes a lot of time, and you probably have to do it a free rune removal, and that's why I hope to get this video out during free rune removal, because it's the first right now. I think free rune removal is tomorrow on the second Saturday, so, well, the second, that is a Saturday, not the second Saturday, but yeah. So yeah, that's about it. Then the most important thing after that, or actually the most important thing throughout everything, even more than water units and a good rune, are Devilmons. And Devilmons, from what I've noticed, come to the equation of how many Devilmons are in there rather than its max Devilmon. But that's just showing like max potential, and that's what I've noticed like throughout. The more Devilmons that go into a unit, like let's say this unit is 565, which means 454, which means 13 Devilmons. Theomars is only 10 Devilmons. Theomars technically would do worse than the Homunculus. Homunculus is also a really good unit that, like, if you're not using Homunculus anymore and you Devilmon it, change it to water, use it for Roll Boss. But that's the thing, like, Theomars has by far the best set like throughout like all of these units here. But the amount of skill ups really matter, and therefore units with really good skill ups, or like a lot of skill ups, will probably do better in Roll Boss. A really good example of that is Pisama. Pisama has an insane amount of skill ups. It's 5, 4, 6. So that's 15 skill up. Way too much. Come to us, lower those numbers. Lower those numbers. But besides that, that's why I can get away with a slot 2 speed and still actually have a high score on that one. Same for this one. Well, I mean, Yosei. So what does that mean for the 4 stars? Well, you've seen a bunch of Gildongs here, but Gildongs have something special. They have freaking 16 skill ups. Plus, you can skill them up with a Fire Taoist, which is a 3 star. So let's say you don't want to focus on Roll Boss right now. Save all of your Fire Taoists from the moment you send them, just throw them in the storage. The moment you want to focus on Roll Boss a little bit, or the moment you don't have anything to 6 star, grab that Gildong that you still have in your storage. Also keep those. Throw all the Fire Taoists on it, and boom, you have a good unit that will work for world boss, because there's 16 skill ups on this unit, and therefore this unit pretty much outclasses all of the net 4s. Plus, it's easy to skill up. So that's a really, really big thing. So let's do this team. Let's see what we get. And then I have a few more topics of like what other units besides Gildang work really well. What units on 2A might work quite decently. And what else do we have? Oh yeah, how can you tweak it? And tweak it I will do on the last team. So what do we have? Oh, you can actually not see it because my face is in there. Wait, let me remove the webcam for a sec. So 2.24, which is actually low. This can hit, like the highest I've seen is 2.48. So yes, there's still a really big RNG factor to this. So that's just what it is. That's just what it is. That's not going to change. There's a high RNG factor to this whole thing. So this team can technically hit like about 200k more. This is actually quite a low run. So then my second team, again, it's just water, right? It's just water. But you see a whole bunch of like net 4s. Still a bunch of net 5s like the Alicia's here. But it's a speed slot 2. And this one, it's a speed slot 2. These sets are not that crazy on the overall stats. That's also, don't go just pure attack on an attack unit. Go for overall stats as well. High efficient runes are important. Also, for example, let's say you cannot make it on like attack, and you have like a decent-ish defense rune with high substats like this, it will actually work. Also, wait, I have to check. I probably have some really weird ass runes on some of the units. You know, this actually makes sense. Oh yeah, this unit, for example. Elucia, is this how you're gonna rune Elucia normally? No, not at all. Do I use Elucia anywhere in like normal that's not RTA? Nope, not at all. Can I use it like this? Yes, perfectly. I actually had a stranger rune, but I think it's probably too many units. No. I want to show you a rune. Yeah, this for example. This Gildong has 100% Aki. Like there's 25 Aki on like, man, this rune is pretty much like straight up garbage. For roll boss, this is usable. So if you want to focus on roll boss, keep those runes as well, because accuracy, resistance actually work a lot towards the roll boss. Same for this one, high accuracy, and that shit works. Was one unit? Was it Chow? No, it was not Chow. I forgot which one it was. Maybe it was you. Yeah, high resistance still works. Maybe you. Or maybe one of the Gildongs. I have too many Gildongs, boys. That's what you do. You make a shit ton of Gildongs. I cannot find the one. Thought it was on a Gildong. Maybe one of those two. Nope. So that's also what you see. Like this Gildong, it looks really powerful because high crit damage, high attack, but the overall base stats are like lower. If this would have like higher Aki, it would like move up to the left. So how can you see that a unit is doing better or worse in World Boss? Is actually really easy as well. So this is my main Aegir. Yeah, this is my main Aegir-ish. Again, slot 2 speed, it's not optimal. If this would have been a slot 2 attack, it would probably score better. It's still better than this Aegir, but this has like whatever leftover runes. I'm not using that one. So, okay, let's take this unit. Covenant. Covenant is currently at the one from the top right spot. So let's say like I'm tuning for roll boss. Covenant, let's say... Okay, let's change this accuracy rune into like a higher stat rune. Well, for you, you're probably gonna do this during free rune removal. You're not gonna do this right now, like right on the spot. But let's say, okay, we go... Technically, this would do more damage, right? Technically, this would do more damage. It's an attacker unit. Would say like, hey, this would be better. So let's try. You just switch it. You check in here. You go in here and you see that Covenant is... It moved about like 7 spots to the right. So as you can see, Covenant like at the bottom, Covenant moves 7 or 8 spots to the right because it got worse. So no, that was not an upgrade. I can probably not even show you an upgrade right now because it's actually kind of difficult to find. But that's just showing like, that's how you should check. Like you add a set, you check again, like, okay, what kind of units go where, blah, blah, blah. Then you just keep repeating the process. Then another tip is, like, let's say you have a shit ton of units in your storage. You can select them by monster. This is quite chill for this way to check, like, okay, let's see like how many Horuses I have. Okay, so I have 12 Horuses. Let's say I already Devilmont both of the, or like let's Devilmont Amduat already, or let's take a unit that doesn't have like a 5-star. Yeah, let's say like Magic Mikes. Magic Nikes. You have like a 10,000 Magic Mikes. You already did Iris. So what are you gonna do with your Magic Mikes, huh? So could you make a Lapis? Yes, you can make a Lapis, throw runes at it, and that will help you for robots. But then there's a few units which I tested. A few units work really well, and a few units do not really work well. So I'm gonna showcase you a few that do and do not work well that I made, just so you can learn from it. Also, Second Awakening units that have skill ups, they will work quite well, and they only cost about 4 skill ups. So, like for example, Mina, it's not gonna be like top tier, but it's a decent tier. Also, they reduce the amount of skill ups for that unit needed by one of the later patches. Actually, that didn't reduce their power in robots for some reason. At least I think it decreased a little bit. So a few units that work really well. Susano is one of those. Why? Because he has an insane amount of attack. He has freaking 911 attack. You can just boost a lot of stats on that. Do this stat, like the sets have to make sense? No. Would you go for completed sets? Preferably yes, unless it's like really difficult. Let's say you have an attack slot 2 Swift with like insane amount of substats, but you cannot make a whole Swift set out of that. Okay, then go for that one broken set or like one broken like combination. But besides that, try to make like full set. So Susano, good option, will probably work quite well. Miyang, I've noticed, works quite well. Stella works decent. Galleon on a roll boss set works decent, but like on his standard set is not that great. Gildong is by far one of the best. Another one that's really good, but that needs an insane amount of skill ups, is Kaz. My Kaz is actually quite low on the ranking of my roll boss simply because I didn't throw the best runes at it. Because also like you gotta tier like go by these units by tier, because at some point I had, where's my, like my Ryan at one of the best sets. I threw that set on a Gildong, and that Gildong pretty much started outclassing all of my net 4s, while Ryan was actually like just doing like mediocre like second team or something. So that also depends like which unit can use which set, and therefore you should check around like, okay, which units actually perform really well. Units that perform quite bad are like, you can also go for the supports like Lure, but performs quite bad. What else do we have? Lapis performs quite bad for some reason. Same for like most of the sports. Emma, Tetra, Avaris also doesn't work too well for me. Like the base stats are just low. Those don't really work. So let's throw in this team. Anything else special here? No, just like the mostly like the attacker units seem to work better than the support units, because even in this team there's barely a support. It's just Miyang is in there on a good set though, but there's pretty much no supports. So let's throw in this team. Let's see what we get. It's getting dark here. Can I add a little bit of light? A little bit of light on my face. A little bit of light on my face. I still have to get used to this like setup. Okay, so I'm gonna hide the webcam again for a sec to show. Yeah, this is that's the stupid thing. This team only scored like 16k less than the previous team, whereas this team, the highest I can get is like about 2.3 million. So it's about like 75k short, but the other team was like 240k short. So Yep, and then the contribution doesn't really matter. Like what, like Miang, for example, was lowest here, but was one of the first in the thing. That's RNG. That's just RNG. Like legit, in the order that they show up, they will probably get the best stats, or not probably, they will get the best results. So I'm one rank away from rank 2. I have to score at least 2 million to get rank 1, and it should be easily possible. Probably we 10% left. It's probably won't get like another try. So this is where it gets like to the point where it starts using like a couple of weird units. One thing I want to notice is example Khan. Khan. A lot of people said Khan would be really good for Roll Boss, but it's still a 3-star. You could say like, hey, 2A, blah blah blah, give it Devilmons. Don't start Devilmoning shit just for a Roll Boss. That's also not really recommended. But yeah, Khan was actually kind of disappointing. Of course, his base HP is insanely high, so he can build off that. Sure, but and it's a net 3 that can actually compete with some of the net 4s. True, even some of the net 5s that are like neutral, calling like wind being neutral. But it's not too great. Like I wouldn't say like, hey, you want to focus on Roll Boss, start building like 16 cons or something. No, just slowly progress, make stuff like useful progression. Like let's say you have a lot of Tyrons, but Tyron also doesn't. Well, this is not that great of a set, but like let's say you have you have too many samurais. Start throwing that into cast. Start making one of those, and that kind of stuff. Supports tend to not work too well. Also, again, like, am I using Varamos, for example? No. Varamos is on a straight Roll Boss set. Has a slot 4 attack. It's not too great. Preferably you have, like, defense on Varamos because, well, attack actually has a better, like, value than his HP, because the HP on Varamos is like, man, why has Varamos the HP of a freaking Lucian or something? Or no, who has this HP? I think Third has this HP. And then, like, down the line, you see, like, for example, Eladriel. It's actually a decent set, but slot 2 speed, which makes it really bad. This one, not too great of a set. Same for this guy. This one is actually decent. Magiana, I'm not gonna tap, but it's also speed slot 2. It's actually, Magiana is in, like, my top 5 best runed units, even on this situation, like, by rune efficiency wise. But she only shows up in the 3rd team. So therefore, speed units are probably not gonna work that well. Let's hit in that team. And that's pretty much all set, like, for tips and tricks for Roll Boss. So to recap is water units, max skilled is really important. Check for units that have a lot of skilled up, skill downs, that kind of stuff. Make net 4s that you have left over into the water version of that net 4 and start throwing in runes that are high efficient, preferably on the main stat of that unit. So if it's an attacker unit, attack. But also just adding in resistance, crit rate, actually a slot 4 resistance, slot 4 accuracy, they work really well. That's not a joke. So those kind of units, start throwing those in, start saving. Like if you actually want to progress in Roll Boss, start saving like weird ass runes that have like good potential. Only do this, by the way, if you have enough mana. If you're struggling with mana still, then you should not start to do this just of yet. So I beat him by about 400k. I'm actually not always the number 1 Roll Boss. There's one guy in Europe that has a better score than me, and I think I'm kind of number 2 right now. But yeah, do this when you have too much mana. I have like 440 million mana, so I can actually switch around all the time. Preferably you would do this like only at just at free rune removal. But actually the chances are for you to get better rewards at triple S's than I checked it at the statistic once. I will if I can find that statistics on the Roll Boss, I will link it down in the description. But actually the chance of getting a Devilmon from like single S to triple S is doubled. It's still double nothing, so double not like multiplying 0 is still 0. Yes, no, it's a little bit more. It's like 0. I think 15 or something. I'm probably like completely wrong, but the other one is like 0.30, so it's actually double. So your chances do upgrade. They don't upgrade much, but they do upgrade. Well, double is actually a good upgrade, right? So that's how you focus on World Boss and take it one step at a time. World Boss takes an insane long process to actually upgrade, so take these tips that I just said. Video is long enough, 25 minutes in or something, so I hope you enjoyed it. And again, like as I said at the beginning, if you haven't yet, please subscribe, give this video a like, comment on stuff like whatever, because that's the thing. Like everyone is like, subscribe, blah 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 blah. But I'm from a personal perspective that you should tell someone to do something, either for you or for them or whatever, but tell them why. So the big thing is why everyone, like in general, is just asking for these likes and stuff like that. If this video gets more likes, it's probably gonna be shown to other people at their like just their home of YouTube. Therefore, people will click on this video, more people will get into the video. I will get more happy, get more views, yay, view hugging, that kind of stuff, and it just helps me out. But it also helps me out to be more motivated for more videos, and therefore have more content for you guys straight from my oven to your doorstep. So, thanks for watching, guys, and peace out.